Now, quantum physics, quite similar that of Nalanda school of thought, one Chitta Mantra school of thought, another Madhyamika school of thought. You see, things does not exist as appears. Things never they exist objectively, but observer, entirely depend on observer. Observer there, things there. Observer no longer, things no longer there. That exactly the Chitta Mantra's philosophy mentioned that. So these things, you see, in order to tackle our emotion, destructive emotion, because destructive emotion entirely based on appearances. They because the opposing antidote of that not remain as appears, but go deeper level. Then nothing exists by objectively, by independently. So now here I also have some experience. I really feel a student of Nagarjuna. So his theory, nothing independently exists. You see, that really very, very helpful to reduce this because of the strengthening of negative emotion. So that's one way, you see, to bring inner peace, happiness, joyfulness. So, for that, now we need a study. Therefore, I usually describe we are the follower of Nalanda tradition, mainly like Nagarjuna, Arya Asanga, and so on. You see, these ancient Indian sort of thinkers, philosophers, they really investigate about nature of emotion. Once they realize the very nature of the emotion, destructive emotion, which is distorted the reality, distorted reality. So try to explain the very nature of the reality. This is one thing. Wisdom side. Then I think Sanskrit word Ubaya and Prajna. This is Prajna side. Now the Ubaya side, like Shantadeva's book, really excellent to explain. Self-centered attitude is the key factor to create a lot of anxiety, a lot of negative emotions such as anger, all these things. So the antidote of that from Ubaya side is the method side. Ubaya or method side is, you see, the altruism. As I mentioned earlier, the wisdom side exploit because I utilize our brain, our intelligence. Then method side exploit our warm-heartedness. So the altruism, others' well-being, more important than your own well-being. Through this practice, even you see some practice of give and take. Take others' pain, others' suffering. Give your own certain the positive things, give them mentally. Practice that, meditate on that. That is very helpful, you see, to strengthening altruism. and reduce the self-centered attitude. So because of that, now we usually, you see, when we refer other sentient being, we usually say mother sentient being, entire sentient being. You see, it's actually, you see, very basis of your own well-being. When we talk about limitless sentient being, then other galaxies are no direct sort of connection. Only this galaxy, and within the galaxy, this solar sort of system, and within that, only this planet. Within this planet, the limitless insects, fish, animals, no language, we cannot communicate. Only prayer. So then finally, when we are training the sense of concern of well-being of entire mother sentient being, then practical level is 7 billion human beings on this planet. So we have the language, we have the same potential as I mentioned earlier. So, you see, in practical level, you see, they try to share one's own experience and these views to human brothers, sisters. That is now only possibility. No other sentient being difficult like that. So that's Buddhism in general, particularly Nalanda tradition, how to tackle destructive emotion, then how to strengthening warm-heartedness. That brings, you see, in mental level, emotional level, complete peace. Even though you surrounded some problems, but you have the ability to keep peace. Okay, like that. So that's, I think, a few levels. First level, as a secular ethics. Then second level, religion, irrespective whether theistic or non-theistic, all carry a message of love. Then another sort of level, a Buddhist concept, no kasota, independent self, because selfish very much related with that, and anger, all these related with that. So that is just my report, how to sort of bring happiness and less stress, like that. Now some questions and answer.
This is Jia Jain, Your Holiness. I wanted to ask you that sometimes we take decisions and we feel they are okay because it is for what we believe to be the greater good. Is that true, or is it just a way of easing our conscience?
I think here, firstly, the goal which you want, you see, that is something positive to other, something beneficial to other. That is important, not harming other. That is goal. You should think. Your thinking is really compassionate thinking or not. Number one. Number two, method to achieve that, as I mentioned earlier, we should follow to achieve that good goal, but method should be realistic. So think. So now, for example, I always talk the importance of secular ethics. I am Buddhist. as I already mentioned, I practice these things. I really, you see, have the experience transform about my emotion through this Buddhist practice. But meantime, I never state Buddhism is best. The different people, different mental disposition, you see, judging their own way of thinking, their own mental disposition. Like medicine, you cannot say one medicine, this is best medicine, you cannot say. Judging individual patient, or his or her illness and physical condition, judging all these factors, then can describe this medicine is best for you. So similarly, different mental disposition, so you cannot say one religion is best. I never state Buddhism is best. For me, Buddhism is best. But different people, different mental disposition, then according to their own mental disposition, they should choose the suitable sort of religion. That's much effective, much better. So like that, goal is perfect, good. You after analyze, that's very good, beneficial to other. And then you should analyze method, more realistic. Isn't it? Like I feel the Iraq war, the President Bush, his motivation is good, goal is good, but method wrong. Like that. That I feel, yes, okay. I feel possible on the basis of basic human nature, as I mentioned earlier, more compassionate. Anger is not, I think, basic, of course, part of our nature of our mind or our emotion, but the basic nature is more compassionate. That is the sort of basis. Then use human intelligence properly. What's the value of anger? What's the value of jealousy or frustration? Then you will realize, oh, anger is no good. On the other hand, compassion, tolerance, forgiveness, these things really antidote of this destructive emotion. Use our intelligence. Then you can change. Okay. I think animal, without this brain, you see, cannot do that. We human being, this intelligence, we have the ability to change some emotion. Those are the lesson, or some emotion. The emotion, like you see, the compassion and anger is a contradictory each other. So therefore, logically, the contradictory sort of emotion, another emotion increase, then other emotion reduce. And then here, important thing is, all destructive emotion very much related with short-sighted and narrow-minded. The positive emotion all have the very sound basis. Therefore, the destructive emotion come spontaneously, but not much sound based. The positive emotion we can train. The religious word, we can meditate on it. We cannot meditate on anger. We can meditate on compassion. So, that's what the kumshi, familiarize. Anger, come. Not much kasoda, familiarize. Come here.
Without familiarization.
Oh. But positive emotion, firstly, actually the hearing, some knowledge from hearing. Now this, I think, Indian tradition. The understanding on first level is hearing. Then that point you already sort of heard. Now think, analyze. That we call vipassana. And in order to carry vipassana properly, you see, you also, there's a single-pointed mind there. Combined with single-pointed mind, that is shamatha, and analytical sort of because of the analyzation, that is vipassana. Combine that, the positive emotion, then much sort of familiarize, bring conviction. On the second level of understanding, through analyze or even through experiment, then your understanding is very deep, and that brings conviction. Then that is second level. Then familiarize that conviction day by day, month by month, year by year. Yon to kasa, mare kasa. Or decades to decades. Yon to wrong. According to secular sort of way, yon to something different. We Buddhist, kasati, limitless, 3 eons mare. Ka.
3 countless eons.
Love that.
In Buddhist text, we mentioned working for enlightenment for over 3 countless eons.
So that's, I think, too long. Too long. So therefore, now, decade by decade, familiarize these things. Then real effect come. So the change or transformation of our emotion, very possible. Then this method is not just a prayer, not just a faith, but analyze. Then the real transformation of our emotion, very possible. That much I also have some experience. Now over 50, 60 years, I seriously sort of thinking, firstly learning, secondly analyze, including scientific sort of cause of the finding, combine, like quantum physics. And as I already mentioned, emotions such as anger is very much sort of based on mental projection, like that. So I really now notice the Nalanda tradition. Buddha himself, you see, told us, "Oh, my follower, monks, scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith, but rather thorough investigation and experiment." So some Nalanda master like Nagarjuna and Chandakirti, now they actually rejected some Buddha's own teaching, Buddha's own sort of sutra. They say, if you accept this sutra literally, that goes against reason. So we must reject that. That's, I think, so therefore, I usually is describing Buddha Shakyamuni 2,600 years ago. Buddha Shakyamuni was one aspect of that person, is great thinker, great philosopher. He taught quantum physics in his teaching. The Sanskrit tradition, he clearly mentioned about quantum physics. Then one, you see, he emphasizes experiment or research. Therefore, I consider him, one aspect of that person is ancient Indian scientist, like that. So therefore, the reasoning Not just faith on quotation, no. Even Buddha's own sort of word, we must analyze. If it goes against reason, then we have the liberty to reject. So like that. So, therefore, you see these kasota. So familiarize, then gradually change our emotion, like that. So we change our emotion. We must utilize fully about our intelligence. That is very important.